honestly. Did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in team, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure, so venture back down to your slum. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Manapot Studios. I am Karen Rushmore, pronouns he, him, and welcome to our continued adventures of the crew of the Fool's Gold, where
we have a ship now.
Where we have the crew who I've so gone out of focus app. Ignore the lack of focus for... Oh, there we go. Snap back.
Literally lost focus.
Let's introduce the crew, starting off with Flimsy.
Hello, I'm JStation64, pronouns he, him, playing Flimsy the Dwarf Mechanic. Pronouns are also he, him, who is currently being flung to the back of the engine room as the pedal has hit the metal. Something like that.
Pedal has hit the metal.
Yes. Dwarven translation for you there.
Hi everyone, I am Crifu Bernal. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Yeva, the Sarkeesian witch warper, whose pronouns are she, her. Yeah, I guess we're racing now? That's something hasn't done since she was a teenager and never in a starship. So I think she's a little excited, actually.
Tricks?
Hey, I'm Crit Commissions. Pronouns are they, them. Playing Tricks. Pronouns she, they. Intrepid space pirate extraordinaire. Number one pirate of the 7 space seas.
Spaces.
And they're going to win.
And finally, Jahir.
I'm Retro Ted. I play Jahir, pronouns he, him. And yeah, Jahir's feeling a bit of an out-of-body experience today. He feels like he was just kind of floating along last week like someone else was steering. But it's all good now.
And before we get into the episode recap, we do actually have Retro Ted giving us the packed facts for this week on the subject of Eox and the undead. Take it away, Retro Ted.
And I thought this week, as Jahir is now partially in the undead category, the packed facts would be quite good for Eox. And I quite enjoyed it, actually, researching this one. Everything's new to me when I do pack facts, so I kind of go down a rabbit hole. But anyway, we shall continue. The origins of necromancy and the use of necrotic energy have long been lost to the annals of time. Most likely, these practices stem from the desire to extend life beyond natural means, long beyond what was naturally intended. The highest concentration of these undead and necrotic energy is located on the planet of Eox. That's EOX. I assume I'm pronouncing that right. In a time long before space flight and the gap, a species called the Illibrians populated the planet of Eox. These humanoid-based inhabitants of Eox, being technologically and magically advanced, sought to destroy neighbouring planets that didn't acknowledge their superiority. Their first attack was made towards 2 planets known as the Twins. The attack was seemingly successful, obliterating both planets, the remnants of which now have become the Diaspora. Unfortunately for the Illibrians, their overconfidence in this planet-killing weapon and their knowledge resulted in destructive energy being directed back towards Eox, subsequently destroying a large hole in the planet's crust, and setting the atmosphere ablaze. Cities and ecosystems were destroyed in seconds, the planet becoming largely uninhabitable, save for a few groups of individuals who took to sealing themselves magically in underground bunkers. After a period of time, it was apparent that the small pockets of irradiated people were infertile, and the chances of rebuilding the population being near impossible. The remaining group of powerful spellcasters, known as Bone Sages, turned to necromancy for a solution, refusing to accept that the planet was uninhabitable to them. Modern-day Eox is still a place of thin atmosphere and noxious gases with high levels of radiation and errant magic rife on the surface. The areas outside of the defensive zones is full of hungry undead hordes, skeletal beasts, and ghoulish humanoids. The more intelligent of these undead are restricted to modern cities that have built up among the wastes. Although these fiefdoms, each ruled by an individual bone lord, have infighting and differences, the planet as a whole provides a unified front when it comes to interacting with the Packworlds. Although mostly feared by other Packworld members, integration and acceptance being a slow process, several Packworld groups seek out to help the Eoxians, especially in dealing with the corpse fleet, an undead armada formed of defecting soldiers unhappy with the Bone Sage's decision to sign the Absalom Pact. As the desire for profit often does, mercenaries and merchants appreciate the opportunity to trade with the Eoxians. The market in corpses, dread weapons, and necrographs gaining traction, as the desire to improve one's abilities, extend lives, or shorten other people's pushes the boundaries of science and sometimes laws. As Jahir was no doubt unaware, the industry of the necrografting is mostly illegal in all parts of the Pact Worlds. Eox, though, has an entire region dedicated to it, named the Necroforge. It is the centre of the undead and necrotic research. Necrographs thought up here giving the abilities far beyond that of nature. So, do you want to stagger, stun, or paralyse your foes? Then the ghoul glands are for you. If you've ever felt like the need to have an extra prehensile hand coming from your throat, then squirming entrails are for you. And to wrap up this segment, we have the necrograph known as a black heart, a strip of necrotically infused undead flesh that grants you environmental protection akin to armour. And this is what the crew of the Good Fortune have been risking their lives to try to sell, all to make profit and hopefully live a longer life. The end.
Did you look at what Jahir got as their what was the Jahir?
The adrenal gland one.
Adrenal gland, that was it, yeah.
And when I was writing this, I was thinking, I'd love to make an undead character. And then I had the idea that Jahir wouldn't know where his adrenal gland was. So when he's off, he's just going to be smacking random parts of his body. But I'm very tempted to... I did have a dark thoughts where we could send Jahir down the road of becoming is it a necro something? Necro-crit something? I don't know. Basically an undead warrior thing. But no.
Yeah, there's plenty of options for becoming undead in a variety of forms.
The easiest way is dying.
Well, that's how it generally starts.
But the easy way is never fun, is it?
Do have sort of like programs where if you want, you can get sponsored to become a ghoul or some form of undead. They'll pay for it all. You'll just have to work for them for servitude for a period of time. But, you know, you've got all the time in the world. You're now undead. As long as you look after your body, you've essentially got eternity to pay it off.
Mm.
I like the idea of being sponsored. Like, what are you doing the fun run for? Well, let me tell you.
And the Barai are an interesting race of undead as well. I very much like their lore.
Yes, I did research them, but
I can't remember what their sort of like background was. Were they like revenants?
Yeah, so any botched resurrections, just being too stubborn to die, freak magical accidents, your soul reattaches itself to your body, but you are still dead.
Right. So, yeah, it's a bit of a creepy way of starting a campaign. But also there's a potential of incorporating that into the extended narrative.
Such a good way of starting a campaign.
I did think of a party of...
You crash. Like, your ship crashes like episode 1.
Yeah, right on the planet.
The thing is, it's good for one person to be a Barai. It's kind of a different thing to have an entire crew as Barai. You know, it's like, so what's your motivation for becoming a Barai? Well, I crashed and didn't want to die. And it's like, okay, and your motivation? It's like, well, kind of the same. I was on board the ship with that guy. Oh, okay.
So my party of undead healers roving the galaxy helping people was not a good one then.
That'd be amazing.
Interesting spin on the Fantastic Four, I'll tell you that much.
So we left it off last week. Well, let's recap last week. Where did we start last week?
We started. It wasn't by blackmailing. We did that the week before, didn't we?
Yeah, you did that the week before.
We were trading for goods. You were
Yes, that was
searching
it.
for
We're
trade
shopping.
items.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come on, you were all there.
And you managed to find a few merchants, you struck a few deals, you got yourself one lot of entertainment devices and one lot of clothing, which along with the black hearts all got put onto the ship. You found a kobold hiding in one of the crates of the clothing, and promptly they surrendered to your superior numbers and forces, and agreed to tell Edge Corps that you were going elsewhere. And then once you managed to finish loading the rest of the stuff on board the ship, you started to make your way to Vesk 2, where upon arrival, moments after, the Wintermorn arrived and have decided to throw down the challenge that the first person who will get to the cellar is the first person surface side. There is a cloud of space jellyfish essentially between you and the planet, and I'm trying to remember what they're called.
This image from Finding Nemo,
Kilty.
traveling down the stream.
What did you say, Dan?
Kilty?
Kilty? No.
No. We're
Kilty.
going to the island of Kilty,
Oh,
deep
sorry.
in the Ghost Mire.
Yep. They are protozoa.
Protozoa, like the rock star in Xenon Girl of the Future.
If
Deep-
you say so.
Deep cut. Sorry.
And with the challenge issued without waiting for response from anybody else, Trix floors it.
Ah, pedal to the metal.
So what is going to happen now is a starship chase scene. Never done one of these before, and I don't think most of the players have either. Two of them I'm pretty sure I haven't. The other two I'm not 100% on.
No, I have not.
Yep.
I think I may have done something similar, but I don't
Similar,
remember
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. So, what will happen is this is over a series of rounds. You, as a crew, need to deliberate amongst yourselves as to which action you wish to take, and there is a list of actions. I meant to copy this so to remind you guys that you can take, roughly, and then. But also, each round, I am going to be presenting you with an obstacle. No.
Obstacle.
Obstacle.
There we go.
Obstacle.
Yeah, you go right the first time.
It doesn't sound right in my brain.
Space bump.
And so basically, you need to overcome the obstacle and take an action. The actions will grant you successes. The obstacles will, if you don't overcome them, they will hamper you in some way for the next round or permanently damage the ship. You need a number of successes to win. I'm going to let you know. You need to have at least 4 successes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now-
if you don't get those 4,
Oh, pretty.
then it's classified as a failure.
Fuck, and then we have 50 tons of black hearts to get rid of.
Put them on eBay, it's fine.
Anybody here do you
Yeah,
hear
it's a
mention that
black
they're illegal on some planets?
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody look into the legality on this planet?
No.
No.
Yeah, didn't
We
think
will
you
when
did.
we leave.
Why
Don't
find
look
problems
too
when you don't need them?
deeply.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll worry about that when she gets surface sight. First of all, you start, Trix guns the engine and you start screaming towards this planet. Before the comms cuts out, you can hear Neva taunting you. That is your first obstacle.
So do we get to discuss ideas and then choose which one we want to go with?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So Neva's taunting us. We can't let her get to us.
Just to clarify that Jahir and Retro Ted doesn't actually know which one is meant to be his direct opposite, so I'm just going to assume all of them are.
Direct opposite is technically Neva, the Yosoki, I think.
Yeah, their captain, the little rat folk, is your opposite.
She's the
Who's
soldier.
He's
Firearm?
the soldier, yeah.
Literal firearm.
No,
Were
that's
they the mage?
that's
No,
the
my
witch warper.
opposite, the witch warper.
Witch warper. Okay, cool.
Neva, I mean, I would like as the fact that Yeva, spent time with her as a youth. She would. I mean, I'm not taking the action. I'm putting it forth as an idea. She would like grab a comm and like start, yelling obscenities back at her.
I think Flimsy's reaction would be suggestion would be to cut the comm if it was something was coming through. But if he was going to go on the mic, then he'd enjoy that much more.
Go full Karen, maybe.
We've seen it before. We know how effective it is.
But yeah, essentially, Neva is just going to be pointing out that Jinx is the only pilot to have successfully navigated the blockade, necrotic minefield in the diaspora. What's your pilot got?
Yeva looks over at Trix.
Literally say anything, I've done it.
So, okay, Yeva will respond and say, "Oh yeah, well, our pilot Trix is the pilot extraordinaire, has driven a truck on the edge of an ice mountain while dealing with hobgoblins on the back of our bed and a helicopter. Yeah, so we've faced much worse threats than you." And
You just see Trix just go, eh.
I don't know. That's the only thing Yeva can think of. She's not good
That's a good
at
example.
making stuff up.
So yeah, let's have a bluff, diplomacy, or intimidate from Yeva.
I'm guessing there's no assistances with these.
Nobody's really assisted too much, and plus as well, if you assist in this, you cannot take part in the main action.
Oh, okay, cool.
So every round you've got the obstacle and the main action.
It doesn't
Right, okay.
feel like, even though diplomacy is my better skill, it really feels more like an intimidate. So that's what I'm going to roll.
Nice.
Okay, dirty 20.
Unfortunately, Neva's words are cutting a little bit deeper than you would have liked. You've got the confidence, but you don't have the resolve. Unfortunately, the next chase action is at a -2 penalty.
Shit, I'm sorry.
Yeesh. Don't worry about it, Eva. I was certainly intimidated.
So, yes, what action do you wish to take for the chase? Which is the list of actions.
Just open the list.
So you've got covering fire, which is pepper the enemy ship with bullets and laser fire, and force the pilot to take evasive maneuvers. You're basically trying to put them at a disadvantage. That will be done by the gunner. Create obstacle. You can jettison junk and try to summon clouds of techno-magical nanites that will put them on the back foot again. environmental cover. The pilot can duck, dive, and twist the ship into a position which gains them a bit of the advantage. Evaluate weakness. We'll look ahead at the next obstacle to come and try to figure out a better way of doing this. It doesn't grant you a success this round, but it gives you a +2 to the next round, as well as if that would result in a success, it counts as 2 instead. Negotiate obstruction. So if there is a protozoa in your way, you can shoot that out of the way, or try to override things like docking bay doors, outmaneuver. That's just basically Trix doing what Trix does best and trying to get ahead by any means necessary. But again, that doesn't give you a success. It makes your next action count as 2 successes and outspeed, dump all the power into the engines and just gun it. Again, that's not really the pilot's doing. That's more the engineer or magic officer just eking out that little extra power into the engines.
Makes sense. Do we each get to do 1 action?
No. You, as a group, get to do 1 action.
Right, okay.
If you can justify something to me, I will allow a assist. So...
Because I'm looking at... Go on, sorry.
So in standard combat, for example, the engineer can divert power to engines, which gives you an increased movability and a little bit more speed. The captain can encourage the crew. I was going to say the gunner can do things, but in the case of trying to maneuver through an obstacle, for example, if Trix is trying to make the turn, the gunner could try shooting off a little bit of the edge just so that it's a little bit cleaner, that kind of thing. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do. I'm asking you to tell me what you want to try and do, and I'll let you know if it'll help.
Can you only use each one once, or can you use them multiple times?
No, you can stick to the same one each time. The only thing is, if an obstacle comes up, for example, the captain role has come up, you can't use captain role because that's what Yeva did.
Some of them are listed as you can't use it more than once, I think, or if you mess it up, you can't use it once.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's also penalties if you fail on some of them, whereas others you just don't get an advantage.
My suggestion when I thought we were all going to have one was that Flimsy would try and negotiate the obstruction by turning the comms off, because the obstruction was Neva giving it that. But it's not very flashy, so I don't mind if anyone else wanted to do something a bit more flashy for our first round.
I was thinking, because we're not quite at the field of giant space jellyfish, Trix was going to fly in real close to the other ship, just to kind of, what's the word? It's a taunt in like intimidating them by putting that undue pressure of kind of forcing them down a path towards a jellyfish, as it were.
Is that
creating
an obstacle then?
Yeah, that will be creating an obstacle.
You're putting a dangerous hazard in their path.
The magic officer, you do creating things, right? Even
the magic officer has already reacted.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, that could be environmental cover, though. A daring pilot might choose to fly much too low. So that sounds like more what Trix is trying to do.
That's a really cool read, yeah. Using
their ship as cover.
I like that's Trix's version of a rebuttal to the insult. Mm-hmm. Trix's version of an intimidate takes the whole ship.
I'll run you out of the skies. There's a lot of it, but I'm going to do it.
And in the wing mirror, flipping them the bird.
Yeah, take us upside down and then just eye to eye, jig. Yeah.
All right. So is that what you're doing? Environmental cover?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds pretty cool.
All right. Make me a piloting check.
Ooh, 23.
23. Yeah, and as you sort of like get close to them, it becomes a case of who blinks first. You're there. You can sort of like look up and see Jinx, who's looking up and seeing you as you're just screaming towards this cloud of jellyfish. And at the last moment, Jinx blinks and just brings the ship around into a loop-de-loop, and he has to follow you into this cloud of jellyfish. Unfortunately, as you enter this massive swarm of plasma-spewing protozoa, it creates a field of electromagnetic energy that is interfering with the ship's core. What do you do?
By the way, Hexgrid mentioned in chat Pyrozoa.
Pyrozoa.
Rather than
Fair enough.
that makes sense.
I'm guessing because they emit that like hot plasma stuff.
Yeah, it probably is that. I just can't read. I probably shouldn't be a GM with these skills, but anyway, I've never let that stop me yet.
You shouldn't. The engines are fucked up.
You're flying into a field of electromagnetic energy that is interfering with the ship's core.
That sounds like a job for Flimsy.
Flimsy, you're up.
I've never dealt with this before, but it looks a bit... I don't know what I'm doing.
You're seeing power spikes across the board.
Oh, okay, yeah. Flimsy's dealt with this before. Not on this ship. He's going to try and see if he can use his knowledge to try and balance out that maybe, if possible, I don't know if I'm getting far too ahead of myself here, but expunge the excess energy towards the Wintermore.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right, make me a engineering check.
Engineering check of engineerings.
I was going to say you could shut down all the non-essential systems apart from the coffee machine. So.
Yeah, sorry, this is up for discussion. If anybody else wants to say it, we could try this. Yeah, but I think we're going for this. Yep.
He's only 16 from Flimsy.
16. It's enough. You manage to basically balance out the power. You do try to vent the excess in the direction of the Wintermorn, but it's just not. You're lucky you didn't explode, and you count that as a success.
Oh, okay. Oh, does it count as a success?
No, it doesn't count. You've overcome the obstacle without issue.
Right, okay.
You've not given yourself any kind of bonus to dealing with the Wintermorn.
Oh,
you didn't blow up.
So the obstacle isn't a success or a failure. It just adds to the success or failure the next action.
Yes.
Modify.
I see. Sorry, I thought every one of these was a thing. Okay, that makes sense.
So
Yeah, no.
we've got one success from Trix's action in the first round, and now we've got to make an action after having dealt that obstacle.
Flimsy's out of action with his staticky beard.
So, what do you want to do this round?
Well, these pyrozoa will continue to be problems for us if we don't do something.
Is the stuff we've just ejected flammable? Combustible, or
I think it's esoteric.
I'm just thinking, if we shot it, could we ignite it?
Maybe, but that's not going to affect the Pyrozoa.
Oh, we're trying to do the Pyrozoa.
Well, I'm just letting you know that it's not going to affect the Pyrozoa. If you wish to aim it at the Wintermorn, then that's a thing.
That's rude.
Well, I assumed it was going backwards anyway, and they're obviously behind us.
This is a polite reminder. This is a race, not a to the death situation.
We could try.
Yeah, but you're guaranteed to win if they don't exist anymore.
Gotcha here. She's my only friend from childhood. We can't kill them.
What if we shoot the pyrozoa in such a way that, they go off as we go past them?
Ooh, that's cool. Like delayed shots.
I like it. Would that be covering fire or negotiate obstruction?
I don't feel that it's a negotiate obstruction. I think it's more create obstacle or covering fire.
Let's do covering fire if we're gonna be shooting stuff.
Oh, it actually says igniting a pocket of volatile gas on create obstacle.
Oh yeah, it does.
Does indeed. But I'll take either. I'll take either a gunnery or create obstacle.
Well, who's rolling this one?
It depends on what you're trying to do. Because if it's the gunner, then whoever's the gunner, which I believe is Jahir.
Mm-hmm.
If you're creating an obstacle, then it could be anybody who's fulfilling the chief mate, engineer. Engineer's already been magic officer or science officer role.
Could we argue that Jahir is making an obstacle by using his gunnery, though?
The thing is, to a certain degree, this is the net effect is the same. So yes, it's creating an obstacle by covering fire and igniting the volatile gases.
A success is still +1 success either way. Which way?
Yeah.
Chief mate uses acrobatics and athletics. So Jahir, you probably have good.
Oh.
You have good athletics.
+10. So.
Not sure how that's fitting in with this narrative, though.
That's true.
Maybe Jahir's like in the toilet and he's got to run to the gunnery room.
I say take the shot. You like let's clear out the pyrozoa in front of us.
Yep. All right. Jahir, make me a gunnery check, which can which would be a ranged attack. Yeah. So just on the main tab of your character sheet.
18.
18. Nicely done. You managed to, sort of like, as the energies are sort of like dispersing from behind the ship, you manage to ignite it and the trail goes off into the cloud that's sort of like now surrounding the area and it just explodes outward. There's goo everywhere. A massive loss of life for the Pyrozoa, but you see the Winterborn sort of like have to plow through this and their ship shudders as it does so. The shields are taking it, but it's definitely hampered them a little.
Dizzy should be a lot more concerned than they look. Dizzy looks way too chill about this whole situation.
Who does?
Dizzy. Is it Dizzy?
Dizzy? The Dragonkin?
The engineer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you thinking I look chill about this?
Yeah. This is like oh yeah.
Dizzy and Digit.
Dizzy and Digit, that was it.
Yeah, I think Digit's the drone.
And then Jinx is that an Oriad? Is that what we landed on, or was that an android? No, I think
I can't remember now. While I look that up, unfortunately, one of the things is now that you've excited the protozoa, pyrozoa, and some of them sort of like streak out with tentacles and start wrapping around the fool's gold.
Beep. They're gonna scratch the paintwork.
Fool's gold.
Could divert some electricity to the hull.
Oh, good idea. I can.
Sacrifice.
Yeva like starts grabbing some like crystals and like attaching them to the walls of her arcane laboratory to try and like empower whatever electricity you're gonna boost through the hull of the ship. Trying to get an aid in there at least.
Yep, I'll take a magic officer and engineer check. Who's aiding and who's checking?
I think I'm aiding. I don't think I can create the impulse. I can only enhance it.
Cool. Yep.
That's a 21 to aid.
That will indeed aid. You get a +2 to this, Flimsy.
Is this a engineering or a computer check?
You said engineering or sorry?
Computers.
Um,
To divert the electricity to the hull via Yeva's nonsensical crystals.
it would have to be an engineering check. There,
Okay.
the computers don't have a subfunction electrify hull. It's not something that you've thought of doing previously. So you're essentially just running over, grabbing a power cord and yanking it out of some non-essential system and sticking it to the edge of the hull and hoping nobody inside gets fried.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
we'll
friends
be
were
fine.
frantically going through some systems and there's like alerts going off of like danger. Like, yank a wire, then give it like a little sideways look to Eva and look at the crystal like put on the wall and be like, eh?
Shift
And,
it, she says, like using all of her energy to like try and like amplify the crystals.
Closes his eyes and shoves it at the crystal. For a 21. So close to a 20 on the dice.
That's what the plus two.
That was with the +2, yeah.
Okay.
And as you do so, you see the sort of like edge of the hull start to glow red, and as it spreads out, we now zoom to the outside of the ship, where just streaks down the ship are basically just boiling off, and these Paizo release the ship. But you've got tentacle scars down the side of your ship, Flimsy.
Oh shit.
Thanks, peeling.
Space tentacles. It's always space tentacles.
Hey,
At least you can't smell it.
It's stripe decal. Don't worry about it.
All right, so that just leaves you here and Tricks for the actual action for the round. What are you guys doing?
Trix would like to do an outmaneuver, skirting very closely to these Pyrozoa. Like getting in, just at the last minute, like getting through what then turns into a blockade as they float into one another.
All right.
Is there that moment where everyone on the bridge is like, it'll never fit through, Trix?
So yeah, that's kind of rallying off the back of the, so like they've actually managed to grab you. Now you're just trying to squeeze through that gap where they're trying to grab you once more. Make me a piloting check.
25.
You cleared it with inches to spare, and for you, that's pretty good.
Could have
We're
been
almost
closer.
certain you were going to hit something. Right,
Take
so
a
that
moment to
doesn't.
look in the back mirror. But that gives the next success 2 instead of 1.
Becomes 2.
Yeah, so no success this round, but if you succeed next round, then you'll be granted 2 successes. It is at this moment you see a before you this sort of like swirling mass of arcane energy that appears to be, well, I think the easiest way of resolving this is, Jahir, could you make me a mysticism check? Not Jahir, Yeva.
I was about to be like,
Everyone's like,
When you got
"What?
confused for a moment there, and it's like, wait a minute, I've just...
22.
What's happening?
Yeah, you can see that this is likely to be somebody on the Wintermorn trying to create a reality of your own.
Mm-hmm. No, I know exactly what that is. So I think it's up to Yeva to try and counteract this. I mean, we could also instead try and maneuver around it. Right?
He's
So it
gonna be
depends on...
looking at the crystals and be like, did I do this? Sorry.
I can definitely.
False, though,
I can definitely.
does it still hurt you?
Sorry, what?
If you know it's false, like if you know it's someone's changing the reality, is it actually the actual reality, or is it just a illusion?
If it was an illusion, it wouldn't hurt. But this is Witchwarper shenanigans. It's an actual reality getting overlaid.
Right.
Thanos style.
Right. So I can try now to dispel it, counteract it, but then I won't be able to do anything during the action.
Or tricks you can try and maneuver around it.
I can try and get around it. Give me a sec.
You don't have a second. It's approaching very fast, and it's in front of your ship.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a hard left.
All right, make me a piloting check.
I don't know why my brain went, skills. I need to come off the skills tab to make this. Ooh, 29.
You manage to bank off to the left, and you're just skirting the edge of this cloud, which loses you next to no time whatsoever, but you're also leaving ripples in it behind you. That is how close you're getting to this thing. But that is a success.
Okay.
Oof. Is that a success or is that 2 successes?
No, you've successfully negated the obstacle.
Yeah.
You now need your action to get a success.
Have we? This is metagaming a little bit, sorry, but have we got 2 successes banked, or 1?
2.
You've got 2 banked. If this is a success, this will be 4 in total, which will mean that you're succeeding.
I quite like the idea for the final push to go for the full-on engines.
You still need to get through the rest of it, because if you screw up the rest of it, you can still take damage to the ship.
Uh-oh. I was going to suggest the chief mate pushes all to get that pour on extra speed for the potential win.
And do an outspeed?
As Trix peels across the edge of reality, do a bit of what's it called? A slingshot maneuver type thing? In some way, to get a burst of speed?
Yeah.
Cool. The thing is, this is one of them where it's either the chief mate, the engineer, or the magic officer, which I think is all 3 of you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Flimsy would like to shift all of the electricity that he's been shoving out into space into the hull, into the engine, to try and assist if he can do.
All right.
Okay, so who's gonna? Well, my question is, how does what I don't understand? The chief mate is kind of new to me. How do you use acrobatics and athletics to do stuff on the starship?
Well, how else does Riker keep his balance when he's putting that leg onto a chair?
So it's more the chief mate is sort of like being able to sprint across the ship, or sort of like dive across the ship. Sorry, and getting into a position to assist with something. For example, Flimsy is just diverting all the power to the engines, which is going to mean that Trix is going to have to bank even harder to not tumble into this cloud. The chief's mate is going to dash over there and so assist with pulling Trix into the maneuver.
Okay.
Rather than the controls getting yanked out of their hands as it just,
G-force in space.
Or if there's a boost button, Jahir can use athletics to just press the button extra hard. All 4
push
arms,
it really hard.
Jahir, push it!
Push it real good.
I would love to be able to aid on this as well.
So what you're doing is you're manipulating the energy of the cloud, and where you were venting it, you're now trying to draw it into the ship, which will give you a boost of power.
Right. Read my mind. Are you the mystic here? So yeah, Jahir and I will be aiding. Flimsy and I will be aiding Jahir on this outspeed check.
Yep. Engineering and mysticism accordingly.
Okay, aided with a 13.
Divert that energy straight to the engines with a 23.
All right, Jahir, you need to push the button. It's one of them where it's like they wrote it down as like we need to give people who are soldiers something to do aboard a ship.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that you
push a button.
it's
I'm allowed to do.
Well, you can also use your forearms on the control stick to help Trix push it down faster.
Is the button actually anything to do with the ship, or is it just a button you press?
It's a button Flimsy set up. It just blinks.
It just makes
it
a light
do
go on.
anything.
Yeah, if you're good, you can have one of them big red buttons with the cap over the top, so you got to flick it up and then push down.
It just says "Don't press," and it's just right next to Jahir's seat. It doesn't do anything.
But no, in
Do I
this
get a
case, it
modifier?
will do something. We need an athletics check from yourself
Plus
or
4.
acrobatics with a
Is there a
plus.
modifier to it?
Yes, 4.
4, yeah. Is it +2 from the success before as well? Or is that not a thing?
No, if we succeed here, we'll get 2 successes.
Okay, cool.
23.
23.
Is that with the 2 assists as well, though?
That's
Yes, that is.
cool, yeah.
And yeah, it's a plan that manages to come together. You've a little bit MacGyvered this, where it's like, if we suck in that excess energy, we should be able to divert it directly to the engines, and Jahir manages to help stabilize the ship with assisting Trix at the controls, and you manage to essentially, as Flimsy said, slingshot around this cloud and pull away as you're heading still towards the planet Vesk 2. The thing is, now that you're past all of that, there appears to be a wake of electromagnetic energy that is following you from behind the other side of the cloud. You're not entirely sure whether that's a side effect of what you did, a side effect of the pyrozoa, or the Wintermorn starting to let off some of its weapons.
Oh!
Those scoundrels.
You said it was electromagnetic.
Yep. But unfortunately, with this, it's a magnetic pulse that is trying to drag the fool's gold into the spewing plasma of a massive pyrozoa. The only course of action for this potentially is Trix to steer you out of the way, unless you got something for me.
I
Could
would
we,
like to... Go on, Jahir, sorry.
I was going to say, could we sort of polarize the hull so it repels rather than attracts?
I wanted to use the word polarized.
Right, everyone ignore that. Go for it.
The thing is, in Star Trek fashion, you need to reverse the polarity.
That's what I was going to ask. Can we reverse the polarity so it pushes us rather than pulls us?
The thing is, you're going towards this pyrozoa to a certain degree. Yes, you could change it so that it pulls you, but it's potentially going to keep you going astray in terms of direction.
Couldn't we, like, it's a form of polarizing, but if we're to go Star Trek complete bull here, polarize the shields in such a way that it goes over us?
Create an umbrella.
Yeah.
Using the tachyon manifold. We said we swore we'd never use it, but it's time.
Desperate times, Flimsy.
Don't forget the quantum tachyon thing. Everything's.
Krifu isn't a big fan of Star Trek.
I kick myself all the time because I have tried to watch various editions of Star Trek, and I'm like, what is this science jargon bullshit? I'm way more here for the fantasy versus the science of things. But I appreciate and respect the vernacular used here today.
Well, it's vernacular, which is basically the fantasy that is Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sci-fi about it. It is sci-fantasy. It's just they've covered it up with technobabble rather than with the Force did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The planar energies.
The gap.
There you go. You got it.
So yeah, you could try manipulating the shields if you wish.
I think that's great.
Cool. Okay. Is that going to be magical? Or is it science?
It's kind of whatever you want it to be. Part science, part magical. You know, magic tech exists for a reason.
Flimsy will try and flip the switch then, I think. If you can repolarize the hull to push rather than pull.
No, negate is the idea.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah.
Because the pushing rather than the pulling will still mean that Trix needs to maneuver it. It's just would be in a more controlled manner, so you will be assisting Trix on the piloting with an engineering check.
Cool.
What you're trying to do is negate the magnetic effect by dispersing it around the ship by changing the frequency of the shields. Then that will negate the problem so that Yeva, Jahir, and Trix are available for the next roll.
Send out a counterpulse via the deflector dish.
Yep.
Is it computers or engineering, sorry?
Let's make this the computers. Why not? You've not done one of them yet.
Okay.
It's technobabble bullshit. It could be anything you want.
By all rights, it shouldn't work.
If it works.
Here we go.
You gotta believe, Flimsy.
19 for Flimsy.
And yes, it works. You're not quite sure how it works. You might have to spend some time doing the calculations on this one. But you manage to get the shielding to negate the effects of magnetism for just enough of a burst as this wave washes over the ship. What is your action for the round? And don't all jump up on once.
The only thing I could think of is flooring it.
Another outspeed.
Yeah.
Unless you can create an obstacle for them.
I was thinking I could create an obstacle, but I was kind of thinking we evaluate weakness, see if because we haven't used that one yet. And I could act as a captain in this regard, turn on the comms and talk to them to evaluate what kind of weaknesses they might have.
Don't forget, this isn't just evaluating their weaknesses. This is evaluating the chase that you're in. So in this case, it's more along the lines of scanning ahead, trying to get a grasp of what the next obstacle is going to be and how you're going to negate that as well as succeed. It's not just you versus the Winterborn, it's you versus the environment.
Right.
You could also find out whether that was weapons fire, though, if you did get in touch with them. That's kind of negating. We know whether or not that was are more weapons coming in next turn, or is it
I like
more
that.
natural?
And you can only use this action once during the whole chase.
Right.
What do y'all think?
I say go for it.
Would anyone care to assist with a science officer check?
It's computers, right?
No, so it's just Flimsy who has computers in this party.
Yeah.
Flimsy's in his calculator trying to work out, did I do that? Is that what...
I am trained in it. I might be able to assist.
Okay. All right, I'm opening comms. And so Yeva's like, I don't know, run back from the arcane laboratory into the bridge with Trix and Jahir, and she's like hopped into one of the seats, and she's like, beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. Neva, is your crew shooting at us? We're experiencing some sort of what does Lindsay call it? Electromagnetic pulse.
I'm not shooting at you, dearie. Just there was some gunk in our way, which I believe you might have had a hand in that. We had to clear it out lest it fry our engines.
All right, just making sure things are on the up and up.
Sense motive.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yep. Okay.
Them eights.
Yeah, Trix, she's talking out her arse. You had a chance to look in the rear view, and there was nothing like that going to be in their way at that time.
I give Yeva the shifty eyes.
All right. I'll roll diplomacy as this to evaluate the weakness, or are we counting? Okay.
Yeah. Roll a diplomacy. You're going to get a +2 on this from assistance from Trix.
Oh yeah. Okay, so she looks back at you, Trix, and gives you a big old wink. Of course, Neva. Just making sure that's a 21. That we're going to beat you in this race fair and square, my friend.
Yes. Just keep your eyes front.
Bad form, JB. Bad form.
And the comms goes dead again. I'm assuming you're not keeping the call open.
No.
For further insults. Yeah.
I don't know. I can keep it open. I can just start singing incessantly. I know a song that'll get on your nose. Get on.
Trix, no, please. We're all on the same comms.
Sing louder. So is that a success?
That is a success.
Okay, so our next chase action, which is not the obstacle, but the one after that, we'll get a +2 bonus, and if it succeeds, we'll get 2 successes instead.
Ooh.
Get a bonus and it counts as 2. That's awesome.
That's why you can only use this action once during the chase.
Nice.
All right, as you're coming to the edge of this cloud, it's sort of pyrozoa. It starts shifting, and it looks like it's trying to reform in front of you, closing up as a gap. You're gonna need to gun it in both ways if you want to get through this without damaging the Ophalont. The Fool's Gold, sorry.
We have to cut a hole through.
Trix is dashing to the back to the pilot's seat. Just like, hey, shoot it now.
Lindsay's got a switch that says engines and guns and doesn't know which way to switch it. Can you assist with it? Can you assist with either one? Like the obstacle and the chart or the check, sorry?
You can.
Okay.
The only thing is you won't be able to do anything for the next. So 3 of you could get involved in the obstacle, but that leaves 1 person for the check.
That makes sense. Well, yeah. In that case, Funzy will shout to Jahir, punch us a way through, and we'll switch the switch to divert power over to the weapons. Would you like an engineering or a?
I would like an engineering.
Diplomacy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, persuade the ship to do what you want.
That's how you
I've got
do
one
it.
switch which you control.
Unholy.
Yeah, Jahir, you're being instructed to get on the guns and do what you do best, which is just shoot everything in front of you.
Okay. And what do you need for
Banana,
that?
Jahir.
Ranged?
Banana.
I'd be arranged with a +2 bonus.
It's the biggest banana we've had.
Oh
Oh no.
That was a natural one for a 7. Jahir tries to draw like a heart shape in the hole. But obviously his heart's a very different shape to everyone else's.
Got a hole, Jahir.
It's a black heart.
All right, Trix, what are you doing? Are you taking... you still could, if you wish, try to pilot your way through this obstacle, but Jahir's just not helped at all.
Yeah, no, Trix is going to take all of the risks. It would be an outspeed, I think.
So you're taking part in the... the action. So you're... The obstacle is still a thing because Jahir hasn't taken care of it. Does anybody
there
else
we go.
want
Yes,
to take
I will
care
jump
of it?
in the obstacle.
Right, okay, but that's just going to leave Yeva for dealing with the action, which is this. So, like, if Yeva succeeds, that's 2 successes. If Yeva on their own fails, then that's a nothing for the last 2 rounds.
She is getting a +2 from the last round. So
That's true.
and with a
So you've essentially assisted yourself.
Assisted yourself, yeah.
yes.
So sorry, Trix, are you maneuvering around this obstacle?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I'm imagining if we don't, we'll lose that.
31.
Oh,
31. I go through the
tasty.
hole he makes with the heart.
Which shouldn't be possible. It's not the right shape for the ship, but you manage to bank and turn the ship in a way that it just manages to scrape past the sides. It's scarring the ship, but it's not doing any significant damage to
Whoever
it.
said square couldn't go through circle hole was a liar.
And I think Yeva will look in the rearview mirror and try to use her mysticism to pull all of that plasma and fill the hole as quickly as possible,
Nice.
creating a barrier for our friends, the Wintermorn. That's the great obstacle action.
Yep. So yeah, you managed to pull the threads of reality just to
25.
negate where you've been and bring it back to a solid. With a 25, that is a definite success.
Woo!
That counts as 6. The ship has some scarring, and you can see the Wintermorn's engines coming towards this where the hole was, and just flare up as it seems to then shoot along the inside of this cloud. They're gonna take a while to go the long way around and, well, meet you surface side. And you did it without breaking the ship whatsoever. So just as basically an aside, what happens is if you only got 4 successes, then it counts as a success, but you lose hit points and one of your ship systems become wrecked.
Ooh, wrecked.
Yeesh.
Yep. One less than that, and then it will be counted as a failure. You lose 50% of your hull, and 2 systems are wrecked. If you only got 2 successes or fewer, you lose all of your hull points, and
over.
5 systems are wrecked. And you're
God.
basically adrift in space until you patch things back up.
Classic race.
Did you have actually full on died, like total party kill, or is that not a possibility?
No, when the systems go down, provided you can get the life support back up and running, you're okay.
Yeah, and the ship only explodes for a TPK if it goes negative your total hull points. bringing it down to 0, the ship is considered broken, and you need to fix it. But you just float around in 0 gravity, breathing in either vacuum in the case of Yaver, or using your armor's life support systems while Flimsy tries to coax the actual life support back into action.
Either that or the winter one just started wailing on us as we're drifting in space.
Into outrunners!
You'll never outrun us again.
But that all depends on the GM, and that probably wouldn't have happened.
I don't know.
So you manage to see in front of you a very clear. Now that the Pyrozoa are out of the way, I'm trying to look for my notes. You can see Vesk 2 before you. I'll give you the map that you Googled rather than just what you're seeing.
Oh, nice.
Who can see the dot that you're supposed to be aiming at?
It's in the Ghost Mire. Guilty. Ghost Mire. Right here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, yeah, it's right in the middle.
Tricks, you're bringing it into land?
Oh, yeah, I'm not wasting any time. I don't trust the Wintermon to uphold their side of the deal at all.
So as you descend into Vesk 2, with it being a fairly, I want to say aquatic world, but that gives different connotations when it comes to sci-fi. Like tends to make you think of a complete water world with no land masses. This has a few land masses, but there's a lot of ocean and seas down there. And as you're descending, it's thick cloud cover, and you eventually come to the Ghost Mire. Let's have some culture checks.
Can we do a culture check for why everywhere is called like Ditili and Maki and Kwan, and there's one place called Ghost Mire?
There's a place called Eyes of the Dead, though.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Very thematic.
The naming for most of these places, Flimsy, is from the native inhabitants. Trying to remember how to pronounce it. Gesticris.
Gesundheit.
The newer map locations are more being named by the Vesk, who are very literal in things. You know, you can probably see on the map Command 2 and you know, the Eyes of the Dead, the Ghost Mire, very Phantom Gate. They're very literal.
They preserve Yetis then, at Yeti Preserve. It's like the local petting zoo.
Or a place where they make jam.
You've got the Dazwindi Range as well.
But yes, culture checks on the Ghost Mire, if anybody's interested, or are you just bringing it into land?
I got a 9.
21 from Flimsy.
I had a 13.
13. The Ghost Mire. Foundations of one of Vesk 2's ruins, called the Ghost Mire, peaks above the arid marsh in the rain shadow of the Kilty mountain range on the island of Kilty. Ishtikris often refer to the ruins and the deserts around them in ways related to death and the supernatural. The Esk have long chalked up this convention to superstition, but those who have returned from exploring the Ghostmire have reported spectral apparitions wandering the night, especially when the weather is conducive for these marshlands' notorious mists. In some cases, these apparitions have turned hostile, pulling victims into the fog to become ghosts themselves.
Cool.
Ooh.
Others stories say that these spirits of the Ghostmire are psychic remnants, some dangerous but none intentionally so. The most bizarre aspects of these phantoms is that they most resemble large humanoids that are neither Ishtikris nor Vesk.
Giant ghosts.
I think Flimsy will have tried to relay that in the most ghost story kind of way possible.
Giant ghosts on an island planet? Sounds fantastic.
It looks so nice from atmosphere, up in orbit, sorry. It's just ghosts and scary swamps down here, it seems. We're doing a delivery though, right? We're dropping off. We don't need to go wandering around foggy ghost murder swamps.
Right, we're looking for someone at these coordinates by the name of Islad.
Ooh, but what if they're in the ghost marsh?
Islad?
No, it's island. I can't read my handwriting. Island of Kilty, deep in the ghost.
I'm so like, that name does not ring a bell. What have I told them? What have I told them? And it's like...
Yeva looks at her notes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That says island. Yeah, but it should be somewhere deep in the Ghostmire. So maybe we'll get to see one of these giant, or rather me-sized ghosts.
Yeah, we weren't given a name. We weren't given a description of what race or what they look like. We were just told that we would get further coordinates.
You got exact GPS locations.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. We didn't get a name or not even a race, I don't think, if I remember correctly. We got a specific set of coordinates.
Yeah. And I imagine where we've landed here isn't those exact coordinates. We need to go further by land.
You can land fairly close. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of air traffic control or a landing pad. You're gonna have to be landing this one rough. So
I'll
you
land
can
it rough, but I want to land it on something stable.
maybe a piloting check.
Oh, so close to a 920.
It really was.
Dirty 20 instead.
Yeah, you you're paying attention to the GPS. As it's kind of going a little bit nuts because it's expecting to be giving you road guidance, but you're flying far too fast for it to try and keep up. But it's like, turn left, turn right, left.
Turn left at murder hole.
The GPS just turns to a written message of why.
And you come in, you see this solitary building. It's a solid structure, but there's a camping area, or at least tents. That are off to one side of it. To the other side of it, it looks fairly firm. Shouldn't be too difficult to bring it down. And this is land, so it's should be solid enough. Probably.
I'm going to bring it in then.
Is there anything engineering can do to assist? If there's any more assisting needed?
I don't really think so. Unless you want to jump out and construct a landing pad for tricks. No.
Level the ground with the guns.
The ground's level enough. Swamp and whatnot tend to be fairly flat. It's one of the benefits of being fairly soft as it tends to peter down. But yes, you land next to this building.
Signs of life.
Yes, there are signs of life. There's so in this camp there is hundreds of Ishtikris moving around. Some of them are coming and going from this building, but there seems to be basically a bit of a colony here.
Anyone taken note at our landing? 'Cause I guess there's no landing pads. It might be a bit unusual to have a ship just landing randomly here.
Not especially. Potentially this is how they get all their supplies. They just haven't got around to building a landing pad, or...
Easy, lazy.
Lindsay, before we go outside, you understand that there might be a few dinks and a few bits of scratches and wet tentacle on the hull. Are you prepared for this?
No, I'm not. I've been dreading going outside and seeing the damage. The systems are fine and everything's running smooth, but it was such a clean, fancy new ship.
It was. I mean, I can quite clearly see a bit of tentacle in that window up there, but I'm sure the rest's fine.
Oh, don't point at it. Come on, let me live my memory.
So he's sliding down the window.
Think positively, Flimsy. With all of the extra scarring on ship, it'll be a lot less noticeable by those who know what they're looking for.
Yeah, you're right. It'll help keep us on the down low, I guess, rather than a brand spanking new ship flying around. But, an engineer going to get so long to see these ships in this condition. I just hope for a few more days.
I'm sure some of it'll wash off.
Wait, have you still not peeled off plastic wrap in the engine room?
I
No,
thought you were going to say on the outside.
You leave the plastic wrap on for as long as possible.
Maybe not in the engineering room, though. Doesn't it melt?
I think that the outside has the plastic wrap on as well. Lindsay peeled it off.
The windscreen, like a huge one, right across the...
Keep on for the Starfinder ASMR podcast.
All right, maybe we step out, say hello to the locals.
Yeah, see if any of them approach us.
Is there any comm traffic generally going, or is it dead, or?
There's a little bit. It's just idle conversation between ship crews. There might be some encrypted radio traffic, but it's fairly faint from this location, and without pissing off the Vesk, you have no idea what they're saying.
Does anyone speak Vesk?
Ooh. Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Do I?
Let me remember 1 second. I wrote down the words that I knew on the list. Let me check.
No, I don't.
Me neither.
That's kind of surprising, but yeah.
I almost never take it as a language, honestly.
Really?
I should.
Well, you got to guess what you got against the Vesk.
I don't have anything against them. Now that I've learned that there are many, many more peoples in their empire, it seems like a much more useful language to speak.
Yeah, it's actually starting to become so like you could play a Vesk campaign or a common campaign. This is one of the first I've seen where it's like, potentially it's a Vesk and common campaign. Mm-hmm. But yes, you alight the ship. There's people milling around. There's people milling around. They just so happen to be squids.
Oh, it was the squid people. That was it.
Let's have a reminder what the Ishtikris look like.
Don't remind me of my years working at the squid mill.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Little hand.
He's a little rapper. It's two heads, right? Two sets of eyes, sorry.
2 sets of eyes. It's
Weird.
offensive to look at one of them. You just don't know which.
Could we do a culture check to know which set of eyes we're supposed to look into?
I would assume the top ones.
That's easy for
He's
you
so
to say, Eva.
He's
Wow.
got a
All the
little
way down
kazoo in
here.
his hand.
Either way, I'm having trouble avoiding eyes.
It does look like a kazoo.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be some kind of weapon.
It's a gun.
Well, I mean, I've got 4. I can do 4 tentacles if you want to shake the other things. Then, I don't know what the cultural accepted is here. Sure,
The
between
things
us,
at
we
the
can shake
bottom
every
are
limb.
legs.
Observing the milling, is there any kind of is there any kind of cultural greeting they seem to be doing? Are they just shaking hands, or are they wiggling tentacles? Like, is there anything?
Maybe perception checks. And maybe culture checks.
Yep, no, Trix is totally lost on the
Oof.
planet. She got another nat 1.
I'll do a
Another nat
culture
one.
on the Ishtiklis. Wow, we just all rolled basically single digits, except for Flimsy.
Have you guys never been to a different planet before? What's going on?
I've been to a different planets tons of times, just never this one.
But yeah, I think to a certain degree, Trix, Jahira, and Yeva are two sort of like insulated into the Pact worlds and haven't really gone that far afield. Flimsy, you're from that far afield, and it's more. You're not quite sure what the traditional greeting would be here, but you sort of like recall, sort of like standard greetings of the Vesk worlds for, it's when cultures collide, they tend to, standard greetings tend to get thrown out because, if the standard greeting for the Ishtikris was to intertwine tentacles, that doesn't really work when it comes to a species that doesn't have tentacles. So when dealing with the Vesh and the Panthera, Skiramanders, they all tend to have their similar way of dealing with things in a now naturalized form. And that springs to mind.
So should we go and ask around, see if we can... Maybe we shouldn't reveal what we've got, but see if we can find out if there's any trade hub or something like that.
Absolutely. We might as well make ourselves known.
Will you be able to sense or check for any kind of like necrotic energy or anything like that? Or...
Oh, that's a really good shout.
So yeah, you want to ask around as to what are you asking? Oh, who are you asking and what are you asking?
Someone
you
was
came to-
expecting a delivery. We're here for it.
Let's grab Zobin. We can set up the food cart and use that to talk to people who maybe come to the food cart.
Yeah, how is
Wait.
Zobun feeling? That was a bit of a space race.
And the goblins.
Oh yeah, this is the goblin stop as well. They're getting off there.
Are they?
I don't know. They
Yeah,
want to
they
go
are
somewhere
now.
else.
They wanted to go somewhere else, but you never discuss where you're dropping them off.
Trix has got their bags with her taken.
So let's just stop.
Internship over. Was there anything behind Jahir's idea to try and detect necrotic energy somewhere?
It's something that you can try. It's just you all seem to go off vagaries. It's all let's start asking around but not mention anything. And it's like, so what are you asking? But yeah, you could sort of like try and sense around for necrotic energies or something that might be giving you any kind of vibe. But yeah, Zobun, sort of like appears. And it's like, I can go out and set up the food cart if you wish. I've forgotten what it sounds like, so it's sounding kind of like this at the moment.
He didn't do like fried squid or anything, did he? Am I misremembering?
He's a multicultural chef. He mainly specializes in delicacies aboard Absalon Station, which may include squid, but he ain't daft.
Don't forget Zobin's they them.
They them,
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. Yeah, thank you.
Calamari's off the menu, boy.
Right, I think setting up food cart and food is something that all people come together on around. We can easily do some talking and say we've come here to trade, and we're looking for people who are interested in exotic goods.
Body modifications?
Yeah.
Is there any trader looking folk around?
Not that you can make out. You all roll pretty poorly on the whole perception culture thing, so you don't know what these guys look like when they're traders, when they're family people, when they're children.
Can Trix just try and locate the exact coordinates they were given?
To the dot.
To the dot, yeah.
Yep, so, okay, let's start off with... Yavin, are you talking around, or are you doing a vibe check on the place?
I think once she would help Zobin set up food cart, and she would be trying to get people to come to food cart, and then using that as opportunity with charming grace to gather information very quickly.
All right.
Charming veneer, that is, yeah.
Yep. Flimsy, you're...
I'm just going to kind of try and wander about, as I think the only person who can speak Vesk, try and wander out a bit further afield and see if we can find any contacts. Specifically looking for people who aren't Ichtikiri, having to put it syllable by syllable there.
Ichtikris.
Ichtikris, the squid people. Both as slightly metagaming, but also as a trader, noticing that maybe sometimes the person that sticks out is sometimes the person of interest.
All right. Jahir, what are you doing?
I think I'm just going to sort of take a step back, figuratively. Just sort of keep an eye on things, see if there's anyone that's dodgy. In a soldier way.
And Trix, you're trying to zero in on the GPS location.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Diplomacy, perception, and piloting?
I'll take piloting.
I can't think what else would be a piloting. Or whatever. But it's technological based. It's basically firing up the GPS location and trying to figure out where that is.
Google Maps.
Computers?
The computers, yeah. Computer survival. I'll take either of those.
Oh, I should come with survival. Oh well, that's a 6 for me.
All right. Did everybody else roll?
No.
One diplomacy from Yaver and Flimsy, and perception from Jahir.
25.
21.
17 from Flimsy.
Trix, you're trying to narrow it down, but the coverage here isn't great, and it keeps jumping. And you start like, okay, it's got to be in this direction, and you start wandering in that direction, and then it jumps and you're too far. So you recenter yourself and you start walking in another direction, and you're just skirting around the edge of this building, and it always seems to be pointing you in a different direction. Jahir, you're looking around, and you're not seeing much in the way of physical differences in terms of size or stature of these Itikris, you're not seeing anybody else who isn't Itikris. And they all seem to be suffering from some form of malady, but you can't really put your finger on what it is. You're not a doctor. But there distinctly doesn't seem to be any children or younger people here. Flimsy, you go looking around a bit of broader feel for all these things, and you're not finding anybody who isn't Itikrish. Yep, Itikrish, whatever. You do manage to sort of like find a bit of a marketplace, but this is very sort of like smaller quantities. This is a personal market. It's not a Starship Hold trader market. The only thing that you managed to really find out is that there's only going to be sort of like one, maybe two buyers for anything of that quantity in this area. You might have to look further afield if you can't broker the deal that you want. You're asking very subtle questions. You're getting to know these people. One of the things is being so close to the Ghost Marsh, or in the Ghost Marsh. It's the mire, sorry. It's spread out over a fairly large area, and it's not quite clear as to whether it's in the Ghost Mire or very close to the edge of the Ghost Mire. But one of the things is this settlement tends to focus on exploration of the Ghost Mire. And unfortunately, what that tends to include is a number of sicknesses and maladies that seem to have no justifiable cause, as it were. It's like the ground itself is leaking some kind of energy that is poisoning the very land and people themselves. But you also find that if there's anybody who's going to be after anything to do with specialized medical facilities or specialized medical supplies, it will be Shazarad.
Shazarad.
Shazarad. S-H-A-Z-A-R-A-D.
Shazarad.
Traditional phone.
Well, Shazarad are they some sort of doctor here?
Yes, they are the local doctor.
Oh, perfect.
They're over in that building over there.
Thank you so much.
So see Trix walking around in a circle, looking at a computer.
And she'll turn to Zobin and be like, "We're going to try to see if we can't conduct business there. See how much more you can make off of these people. I'm sure they haven't seen iconic Absalom Fair," she like shouts out, "at all or ever."
I'll do what I can. I mean, I'm just here to cook and serve delectable meals, at least. Not sure if we can pick up much in the way of supplies here, though. That might be a bit of a concern.
Maybe. I mean, we could always. We'll see what we can find. I'm sure there's other places on this planet where we could stop before heading back out into space. So she'll radio everyone and say we're looking for Dr. Shazarad in this location. Just look for Trix.
Trix also from the house like that.
Would we know if necrotic black hearts would be like incredibly offensive to a doctor, or are they also? Would they also have medicinal properties?
So one of the things about black hearts is they are an implant and they need to be medically. It's a medical procedure to get them installed, inserted, drafted, whatever the case. It's about as offensive as anything could be offensive about in terms of, it's necrotic, which is like something that most doctors want to avoid. But at the same token, the benefits of the necrographs is, potentially something that they might be interested in.
I did learn that it can grant resistances to certain things, as well as being like an armor. It can grant like protection against poisons and things, or
which would make sense here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But obviously, Jahir doesn't know that.
That's what
Here has an out-of-body experience, and it's all like starts right at speaking in tongues.
Not another one. His eyes roll back and he starts talking.
I wonder if indeed Dr. Shazarad was hoping to obtain these to help these people against the strange maladies.
It's worth a shot.
And as you make your way over to this building, you see the Wintermorn coming into land.
Hurry, fast.
Open fire.
Do one of us want to stay behind and make sure they don't start fucking with our ship?
Flip
around, isn't he? So.
Flimsy doesn't mind going and locking the ship if you guys want to go in.
I mean, I assumed you locked it when you landed.
Yeah.
You got the remote, haven't you, on your
keypad?
Plus, Zolban can write the OS. I mean, it's right in their view.
Oh, that's a good shout.
And we've got
really
interns for a reason, people.
As I fly off in the ship.
So you're all going inside the building.
Yep.
And as you enter the front door, you are met with a lime-furred skitamander wearing surgical scrubs, smoking a cigar and examining a datapad, and turns to you and says, "Hey, new friends, you must have my organ delivery." And that is where we're going to take a break.
That description has got crazier and crazier with every night. Like, surgical scrubs. They're holding a cigar. They ask where are the hearts. What's going on?
Skidamander, are you okay?
I love her eyelashes. I love her purple eyes.
She's got
I'm
plaited
terrified
hair.
and mystified in equal measures.
I'm getting
Why has she got a bubble machine?
hardcore female gremlin vibe.
Yeah.
Ah. Is she all of the characters from MASH in one amalgamated?
I think we all just stare back at her in stunned silence for a moment.
Well, are you here to trade or are you just here to stare?
Right.
We've got an order for you from Riche, I believe it was.
I don't know any Riche, but I ordered some black hearts.
Right, that's the one. 50 tons.
50 tons.
You wouldn't
Of
happen to
hearts.
have what are those things called, Flimsy, that we rented for you? The load?
Oh, the
Power lifters.
power lifter.
You wouldn't happen to have power lifter handy, would you?
Let me just check. She turns around, turns back. No.
Okay, well, it will take us some time to unload the ship then.
I mean, that's appreciated. But yes,
We need to finalise the deal before the others maybe unload quicker. Or...
Right. Did we discuss price? Did Tarika arrange that?
Oh, your
Risha tell us
Tarika's
about-
lot.
Yeah, Tarika's lot.
Yeah, she inquired about the price, but I've been trying to keep this a little on the down low because didn't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry poking their noses around here.
She's
You do
so
realize black
delightfully
hearts
noir.
aren't quite legal around here, right?
We didn't think very hard about it.
We did
Probably
get that
best
vibe,
in
though.
your condition.
Cargo's cargo.
But yes, the price was negotiated at 20 ship shares.
Yes.
Seems very reasonable.
You're not going to renegade on me now, are you?
No, we're just very happy with this deal. Considering we didn't pay shit to get this stuff.
Also, we're not going to haggle with a hospital, surely. Look at the headbands they're wearing.
It seems like
He is in love.
it seems like the people of Ghostmire might really need these hearts.
Yeah, we spotted a few people don't look too well out there.
Yeah, I admire the Chris. So, like, coming out here and doing what they got to do, but this place is gonna kill them. So I figured I'd help. Necrographs may be a little squishy, but they're perfect for this situation. Why, even with a black heart inside them, my friends outside won't even notice the radiation or the poisonous air. And maybe they won't notice the fact that they're a little dead inside. I don't know. But I'm helping, and that's what matters.
Flimsy would like to immediately check any system that he has to test for radiation and poison air.
Do you have a chemilizer?
I don't think he does.
Do you have a
First
Geiger
character
counter?
without a chemilizer? No, got nothing, I don't think, of those sorts.
Do you have a radiation detector?
He's got a lantern.
That emits a kind of radiation, but not a dangerous one.
I think our suits have a little bit of a radiation buffer in them.
Mm-hmm.
They do when your environmental seals are active.
I think it's like such a low quantity that you have to be here for a while before it kicks in.
Is that the case?
I look at the Skittermander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need to be alarmed. It's mainly deep in the mire that you need to go before that stuff really starts to kick in, but just don't breathe too deeply or stick around too long.
Virus suit on.
Helmet just... boop.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just point us to where you need the cargo unloaded, and we'll begin the work.
Yeah, much appreciated, much appreciated. And if you come around back with me, there's a store room back here, and she guides you around. There's a cargo entry. Rolling door on the side of the building. It's just a quick jaunt from your ship to the
Perfect.
cargo hold.
It'll only
It's
take...
going to take you a while. It's 8 man-hours for every unit of cargo, with the 4 of you, with the 3 space goblins, maybe Zobin as well. It'd be 2 hours a load, so 4 hours of work getting the black hearts unloaded.
Oh, good thing we have interns.
Aye. So we keep them around for.
Mhm.
Tearing Zobin away from their food car. Like,
We've-
we to borrow you for a bit.
We've come a long way from hiring people off the street to help us.
Now we store them in the cargo bay along with the rest of the cargo.
You know we're going to have to start paying them at some point.
We're paying
He
them
is
in
happy that we took him
experience.
away from all that manual labour.
Georgia here.
Oh yeah. He's still happy that you took him away from manual labour as well.
I believe you mean Zobin.
Zobin, yeah.
It wasn't so much the manual labour that was a problem, it was the fact that he was in a brutalist prison.
Quite fond of the labour, actually.
Stop it.
It was the beatings that I couldn't get used to.
What, as we're beginning to unload, what are the crew of the Wintermorn doing?
Yeah.
They arrived, and so like as you exit, you can see them so like politely waiting outside the door, just waiting their turn.
Hello, nice to see you caught up. And she winks at Neva and gives her a genuine smile.
Hi,
Check that that's a genuine smile.
It's a friendly smile.
She looks at Trix, and it's like, you ever consider jumping ship?
Oh, every day, but I'm not
Fine.
interested. Thank you.
Well, if you ever do become interested, give us a call.
Oh yeah,
How
for
does-
sure. What does Jinx look like?
Yeah. How does Jinx react to that? So rude.
Jinx is very sort of like sullen, but they were from the moment you came out. It's to a certain degree, most of that was his reputation on the line, and you've just pretty much destroyed it. So he's not looking too happy. This is just like rubbing a little bit of salt in the wound, but to a certain degree, it's neither trying to make a jovial situation out of it because, you know, at the end of the day, she doesn't truly believe that Trix is going to jump ship. Unless you want to.
No, I'm okay. We'll take a number though.
Does he
But yeah.
notice this, or is he to stop with the fairies?
You notice this is just a conversation out in there.
Oh, right, okay. Jinx, don't feel bad, it's just one of those things. We all fail sometime, I've got this tiny little model ship in the hold if you want to come and play with it, maybe get some practice in and, we could set up a few obstacles and and then he just starts laughing in his face and walking off.
He just gives you the one thing, a salute.
I've got 4 hands.
So, oh, be
I'm gonna
nice.
trump him.
He was up against the space pirate extraordinaire. What did he think was going to happen?
Hey, Dizzy. My people got there first this time. I guess I owe you the drink this one.
If you can find a bar around here.
Is there anything remotely resembling a bar?
You have not had a chance to look around for a bar.
Okay. Maybe I'll get the next one. But
Yeah. I mean, if we're still around once you're finished unloading, I'll go look for a bar. But neither will probably have us jump planet as soon as things are concluded here.
what'll your crew do with your cargo?
Well, there's bound to be another buyer out there somewhere.
You can't find anywhere to shift them. We've recently got some space in our hold. At bargain prices, of course.
You'd have to talk to the captain. I don't get involved in bargain prices.
Just let us know how it goes.
You'll probably find out if we unload the stuff or take off.
Sounds good. Maybe next time we'll have a bit of a race, eh? We'll put some money on it.
I'm not sure if I like our odds.
And I'm sure you put a bit more effort in. Don't lie on your laurels. You can give it with the best of them.
We can, but we're a hauler, which slows us down. Didn't seem to slow you down, then.
What's the Oliphant? Is it a hauler as well?
It's a special experimental type of ship.
Nah, you just got to get a feel for it, Dizzy. Once you get used to it, you'll be fine.
We'll see. We'll see. So you go about unloading the Black Hearts.
Mm-hmm. Checking for kobolds.
All right. You don't find any kobolds. You don't find any other kind of stowaway either. Who could have had you with some kind of you find a Vesk stowaway. Haha, you weren't looking for me. Stab. Runs off giggling into the swamp. I don't know.
I think Flimsy's hallucinating.
You find something's eaten all the black hearts.
So yeah, update your bank balance. And so I believe Flimsy is keeping track of the
Flimsy does have a tracker of trade goods.
And your ship shares.
Yes, so we should have 6 remaining.
Yep.
Yeah.
You now have 26.
Wow. Wow. That could not have gone better for us. Neva screwed over Riche, which got us everything we needed to only make profit.
You should thank.
Not to
Neva
also
to get a
mention the
chance.
blackmail.
Oh, there was a touch of blackmail involved. Yes, that's
Blackmailing the mass murderer, yeah? Is that who we're talking about? Blackmailing?
Mhm.
I don't really feel bad about blackmailing them, to be honest. And we've got.
We need to inform. What's the face?
Rika.
That narrows it down in a
Rika.
galaxy full of people. No, the lady that.
Oh, yeah.
We were negotiating.
Riche,
She gave the contract. Riche, was it?
she did want to know. The whole point of her helping us was that we beat the Winter Morn to get here.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
I guess
So, yeah,
a delay.
We're fast forwarding 4 hours. You've unloaded the hearts. What are you doing? Are you sending out messages to people?
Yes.
Right. Jahir, are you telling Riche that we beat them?
I don't think it should be Jahir that does it. He talks with his fists, so.
Well,
Would
yeah,
you
he's the one
definitely-
with the conversation, with the rapport
meeting.
with
Yeah.
Riche.
I'll,
so.
If I can, do a video recording of me with the Wintermorn crew in the background looking dejected.
The goblins unloading in the background, our ship, kind of.
Mhm.
Smile, everyone.
It would have to be really far up and leaning, facing downward to because she's so tall to catch everyone behind her. And she would be like, Riche, it is my pleasure to let you know that we have beat the crew of the Wintermorn to Vesk 2 in the Gavaniska system, and that we have successfully are successfully unloading the Black Hearts to the contact here. I hope that this will put us in your good graces and that you'll think of us the next time you need any necrografts moved across space. The crew of...
I am
sorry.
looking around to make sure no one was listening into what we
That
just
last
delivered,
bit.
though.
Yeah.
I'm far enough away, that there's not necessarily... and I'll be like, the crew of the Fool's Gold signing out.
All right, roll me 3d6.
3d6. Oh, shit.
Taking damage from this call.
9. Oh, God.
Okie dokie.
There were 9 people listening in on that call.
And can I have a diplomacy check.
Sure. 24.
Nice. There are the double-digit rolls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's the message sent. It's going to take some time to get there. You're quite literally in a different star system.
We should send a message to Tarika as well and let her know that the job was successful.
All right. So who's sending that one?
Lindsay is probably going to be looking for the local Curry's PC World to unload the entertainment goods if they can do. So probably not going to.
That's going to be a bit more of an involved task.
Yeah.
It takes like 24 hours for you to go around and talk the talk and find people to sell to.
We might not be in the best location for the entertainment goods, at least.
Yeah.
But no, Trix will message Tarika. Yo, Tarika, we did it. Everything's a good one.
Is that all you're sending?
Profit was had. 20? Was it 20?
It was 20.
It was 20 20 ship shares are all ours. I think Flimsy's got them. Keep us posted.
Tell her we need more work.
Yeah, we need more work.
All right. Make me a 3d6 roll and a diplomacy check.
10 days. And diplomacy is a 6.
I don't know how you're going to annoy your old friend this that badly with this.
It's because I'm janking the camera around and moving it a lot.
Full on doing cartwheels, like holding the camera in their hand.
Yeah, trying to get like the best possible angle.
You're getting distracted.
Holding a thumb over the lens.
Oh no.
Trying to get some action poses and getting distracted when you think that you can pull off something that you potentially can't, but at the same token, it's just 5 minutes of you trying something without talking or anything. Okay, so you've essentially got at least a day here if you want to go looking around for somebody to sell these things to. You don't have any prescripted other destinations. The messages that you've sent, they'll take a little bit of time to get out. There'll be some delay in getting back to you. So you're free to do what you want for a day. Shortly after Starlight, you started unloading the Black Hearts, the crew of the Windmorn come out. They seem to be discussing something. Make perception checks.
I was going to say, can I eavesdrop?
Yes, you can attempt to drop eaves.
I got a 4.
I'm just going to kind of spider monkey onto the ship and just be listening in.
You could just patch into their comms. 26 from Flimsy.
Yep. Flimsy, you do patch into their comms with a natural 20. Sorry.
You right?
He's muted himself, and there we go.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
It wasn't a problem. It was just like a bit of a dry cough, and it was one of them where it's like, want to get that out off comms rather than coughing into a mic.
Comms.
Flimsy heard all of it.
Tricks, you rely on more traditional methods of eavesdropping. But yeah, you hear them discussing what they've been offered. They've been offered only 5 ship shares. But they're sort of like, well, we didn't really pay for them to begin with, and getting rid of the cargo here, wouldn't hurt. But they sort of wander off to their ship, and within the next couple of hours, without unloading, they take off. You assume to find a prospective buyer, or at least bank them for maybe a time when Shahrazad starts running low on supplies.
It's not something that I think Flimsy would think about doing right now, but maybe would like to think about having in his back pocket. Could we potentially report the Winterborn to the authorities for having broken in and stolen those hearts in the first place?
Which authority?
Space Police? Space Precinct 1?
It would be
stewards?
Absalom Station, all the stewards.
There we go. Yeah.
You could report them if you wanted. You're not sure how much that's going to stick. The very nature of the Black Hearts on Absalom Station is a bit dubious. They're tolerated there, the necrographs, but they're not really endorsed. So potentially vigilante justice is valid in the Pact Worlds. So potentially they could get away with basically saying, well, they stole the Black Hearts to secure them for less malevolent purchases than what would have happened if they'd have stayed in Richet's hands. That kind of BS. But at the same token, it would flag them up that they're willing to do underhanded things with the stewards. But if anybody also found out, you also might get known as being snitches.
Would you bring
It's one
that
of
up?
those things. Sorry, go on.
Would you bring that up to the rest of the crew, or is that something you're just thinking about privately?
No, I think probably of most of the crew, Tricks and Eva, you guys might have an idea. Actually, here, you've worked in the criminal underground, so you probably would have brought it up with everyone, whether or not that would be a...
It's funny, but a terrible idea. Because then they'll be like, oh, well, how do you know about this? And then they can report that we actually sold Black Hearts.
We moved medical goods to a hospital.
We did, but you don't want the stewards looking too closely at anything we do.
That's true.
Right, and then they're following the breadcrumb of how the hearts came to be. But
That gets Megamind in trouble.
But more than that, despite the fact that she just took off without saying anything to me, goodbye at the very least. Neva's my friend. I feel like this is a chance for us to try and form some sort of bond again, and I would like to at least be able to continue to do that without, making her and her crew even more annoyed by us.
I respect that, Eva. It's just, I don't know, with trading, all you've got is your reputation. And I feel like they've taken a step down in my estimation, robbing a client like that. It's not how business is done.
Yeva just points at the fool's gold.
Well, that's another thing. Like, we've, acquired this, which was a paid job, and we've got Edge after us, we've got the Golden League after us, we've got half of the universe after us. We try to report them in, and it's just like, oh, well, we're not really bothered about them. Why is it always us that gets the short end of the stick with these things?
Well, to be fair, like we were hired to steal this ship, but and we would have handed it over, but they tried to kill us instead. So ours now.
We did have every intention to do so.
Mm-hmm.
We were caught between an asteroid and a hard place.
But
maybe, I mean, we won the race, and maybe not burn all the bridges. We might have need for them in the future.
I don't think we should go calling them in now, but if they try any trouble with us, maybe it's an option.
I'll send Neva an email, space mail, email, whatever it is. Maybe if they're staying in the system, we could meet up, buy them a round of drinks.
I'd like that.
Just because we're rivals doesn't mean we have to be enemies.
I'd like to keep them on the straight and narrow, maybe. But I think you're right. Be a positive influence.
Something like that, maybe. And Yeva will pull out her phone and start composing an email to Neva. Yeva and Neva. Saying, hey, you took off before you took off before we could say goodbyes or even catch up at all. I understand you are captain now, and that is big deal. But it would have been nice to have, traded stories. It's been years since I last saw you, and you were the only one who knew my biggest, darkest secret for so long. I wish that we could at least catch up. And then ask about if they're staying nearby, maybe we can meet somewhere in the system. I feel like the only thing Yeva knows off the top of her head is that there's that big space station where all of the dictators sit. That's the only thing she knows about the Gavaniska system. I doubt
Conqueror's Forge, yeah.
The Conqueror's Forge. Right. I doubt that they want to go and have drinks there. I can't imagine that that's their first choice, but if they know of any place better, let me know. Send.
Is travel into system quite quick, normally, like within a system? Because it goes 3d6 to get out here. If we were to go to the Conqueror's Forge, for example, would that be...
Maybe 1d6 days.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, that makes sense, yeah.
So, what do you do? So, Flimsy, you're looking around here for buyers of the clothing and the entertainment goods.
The reason I was asking that was to see whether or not there were any nearby planets that might be a better shout, or nearby settlements that might be ideally somewhere on planet, but if not, maybe it's worth a jaunt to the next planet over if they've got a metropolis there who are desperate for entertainment systems.
I'll allow you to sort of wrap it up in sort of a 24-hour sort of look for buyers here, as well as sort of try to get a little bit of info on the planet as a whole, as well as other planets within this system that might be interested.
I was going to say, that feels like a downtime activity. I'm looking through the list right now.
I think there is one which is looking for deals.
It's specifically for equipment, I think.
Okay.
Hunt bargains.
I'm not sure whether it classifies it as a downtime activity. So this has actually been the first of the fly through your die books.
Part of the trade mechanic.
Yeah, galactic trade. Because there's one for find cargo, which we kind of did last time, although I kind of speeded that up because Absalon Station has a place which you would be aware it's where you go to buy and sell, so it was only a few hours rather than a day.
What it's there for.
Find buyer, you look for somebody interested in buying your cargo activity. You spend a day researching markets on the infosphere, checking with unions and guild representatives, meeting with local contacts and haggling. You must be within a settlement. The GM may allow you to find a buyer in other locations. At the end of the day, so it does pretty much sound like a downtime activity. You attempt a diplomacy or profession merchant check. DC is equal to 15 plus 1.5 times your level. Result on a success, you find somebody willing to buy your cargo for the sale price as determined by the GM. For every 5 by which you exceed the DC, you increase the sale price of the cargo by 1 ship share per lot. If you fail, you can still find a buyer, but the sale price of the cargo is reduced by 1 BP per lot. Special, if multiple allies perform this downtime activity on the same day, only one of them attempts the check, but with an accumulative +1 circumstance bonus for each aiding ally, not including the one attempting the check. So basically, if you ever wanted to assist Flimsy, you just get a +1 to it, no check from Yeva required.
FYI, I put the link to the Galactic Trade Rules. Thank you, Archives of Nethys. Into the Discord as well as in the Twitch chat.
Nice.
Very cool.
Is there is this the kind of planet that would have, or area that would have like a shipyard or anything like that?
No. There might be some over at Command 2 for refitting, but the Conqueror's Forge is where most of the shipbuilding gets done.
Guys, I mean, the Fool's Gold has got us through this, and do we need to spend money on it? I mean, I know it's a new ship, but we're starting to find some limitations to it. Do you think we should invest in our ship, or we've got this amount of money now? It's it seems only natural to improve what we've got to be more efficient. It's just throwing it out there.
Well, she's a fine ship, but we've got that new engine put in with the help with the goblins. It'd be lovely to bring the rest of the ship up to speed with that.
Who knows where we'd be next? We could be anywhere, and I just think that maybe if we took a bit of time to modify the ship in some way, or maybe even just paint it or make it our own, or.
Do you have anything particular in mind, Jahir?
Well, I normally decorate things with the blood of my enemies, but I don't think there's enough people around here to cover the ship. I suppose we could go and find some.
You've got a lot of enemies, Jahir.
For the right money, anyone's my enemy. It's it's nothing personal.
Out of character, we've got 26 and we've got 4 tied up in trade. How much would we want to spend on ship upgrades, I guess, is the question.
So first thing is, how much can you spend?
Okay.
For the sake of balance, we're going to be going by the book on this one, which is upgrades. The PCs can spend BPs on their starship if they have time and facilities to make such upgrades. Using this system, the total BP's value of a starship can be no more than 5% more than the listed value of its tier. So it's a tier 3 ship. I'm not sure how many previously ship shares were in that is worth, but you can add 5% onto that total and then upgrade up to that amount. You can have stuff removed, refunding it essentially, and install something else if you wanted to switch everything around. But also, I am going to be expecting you guys a little bit at least to make up the difference for when you actually level up. you're not going to get a free tier 4 ship.
Mhm.
You're going to have to make up the difference in ship shares to bring you up to that level.
And
So whether you do it now or whether you do it when you level up, that's another question.
Right, I was imagining that it would be piecemeal as we go. So if we do a little bit now, we have a few days at least. We have like over a week actually before. Because who knows how long it would take to receive a message back. So, but
It
anyway,
could take another week to get back again at least. Yeah.
It can take anywhere between 3 and 18 days.
let's say we have a week to like of free time to where we can try and sell our trade goods and upgrade and put some upgrades on the ship.
And potentially pick up some fresh cargo.
And head back to Absalom with it. Because we'll get to Absalom like that, like no one's business. Maximum, like what, 3 days?
Is it the same rules anywhere? Even if we're in Vest system?
Wherever we are, Absalom will be 1d6 days.
Ah.
And with the signal boost drive, that's halved.
So I guess the Conqueror's Forge doesn't have an equivalent to Absalom Station because we did not get that bonus to get here, did we?
If they do have something like that, you essentially need the key.
Ah, okay, cool. That makes sense.
It's one of the disadvantages of Absalom Station. It's naturally occurring. The key is open to all, which is a problem and has been a problem several times for Absalom Station. Other civilizations who have sort of like imitated this have the benefit of you need the key to get in. So I'm not sure about the Vescarium. I know that the Eslant have a essential system of doing that, and that's how it works. You need a certain device on your ship that allows you to jump in 1d6 days towards the Aslan systems.
Those damn space Nazis.
What was the size of the Fool's Gold, sorry?
No, it's a tier 3. It's a medium transport.
Medium transport. It's 15 is the original cost.
No, you're looking at the total tier, so...
Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the bill. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, if we go to... we'll do this off camera.
I thought it was that simple number. Not for the whole thing, so don't worry about it.
It is a simple number. I know exactly where in the book it is. It's just I don't want to delay too much looking that up. Because the other thing is also need to get the ship spec'd up into Fantasy Grounds so that you can start pulling it apart and putting them back together again with mods. And I've not got around to doing that yet because I'm a lazy GM. So the other thing that you can also do is you can try to look for work. There might be something to do around here. Plus, as well, you say one of the things is it's like to get the message back to Tarika, you could actually probably beat the message home just by jumping there. But at the same token, if she recommended that you get out of the system and lay low for a while. So she might be looking for work for you in this area or, in other areas further afield so that you don't have to report back to Absalom Station. You've already been found once on Absalom Station.
Very
kind
true.
of.
Oh my god, ominous reminder.
Trix will definitely look for work that isn't buying and selling cargo because that's not what Trix is good at. Trix is good at making sure she's not being a menace to the rest of her crew.
No, just a menace to society. So it's going to be at least one day while Flimsy and Yaver, are you helping Flimsy find a buyer for the cargo?
Absolutely.
Yep. I'm mainly saying Flimsy here because he speaks the lingo. and he's also kind of the ship's quartermaster.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, if you guys ever want Yeva being the lead and Flimsy being the assist, just let me know. Jahir, what are you doing for the next day or so?
Is it possible that I could? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have the knowledge to, see if there's any issues with the ship myself. But could I encourage / persuade the goblins to help me with my supervision? Just make sort of an inventory of any damage that's been caused or areas that we might need, and then.
Yeah, you can do a once over the ship with the goblins. Make me an engineering check.
Because obviously Jahir's all about, sort of checking over equipment and things and keeping it in tip-top condition and things. A natural 1 for a 0.
So apt.
Jahir's been talking to the pit, doesn't realise the goblins have gone.
No, the goblins are there and they're telling you everything that's wrong with the ship in terms of what they feel that they could make the ship do better. You also get the feeling that maybe you want to run this past Flimsy before you let the goblins do whatever it is that they're saying, because it just straight over your head. No idea what they're gibbering about, but it sounds good. But maybe you want to talk to Flimsy first.
Fair enough.
Trix, you're looking for work for the next day or so?
Mm-hmm.
All right, make me a check.
I'm not good at diplomacy, but there we go, 50.
You find the local branch of Secret Handshakes.
Hey,
You remember those guys, right?
I do.
They don't have anything for you at the moment. However, it pleases them that you have made yourself known to be available in the VESC systems. We'll let you know if we find anything.
Do they know if anyone else is looking for work at the moment?
I mean, in context, they're here, further afield.
Here as in, like, in the camp or the surrounding areas. Just general things to do. Have they heard anything?
I'm afraid that information is confidential. We don't expect people to stick around for very long, so we just try to keep track of our members as they come and go through various systems. We know that you're here. We know that you're available for work. I'd rather not say if there's much in the way of competition out there.
Fair enough. Scuff my feet and leave.
All right, Flimsy.
Oh.
Let us have a diplomacy or a profession check for trying to find a buyer.
Let us diplomatize.
Can I aid?
Yes, but the aid in this is automatic, but it's only the +1.
Okay, then I'll.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Perfect.
That was a good point, Eva. I'll consider that.
She's really just there to fill out paperwork.
I didn't include the +1 to 27.
27.
Hey.
Math I wrote down some notes earlier. Wow, the stream on my computer is so far behind.
Looking at these galactic trade rules, it really does allow you to do a full sandbox mercantile campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100%. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a lot of work on the GM.
Right. So
Got 2
what did
weeks
you?
off, haven't you?
27. I mean, I'm doing as much as I can for these kind of things to make it feel a little bit more sandboxy, rather than just me following the script. But at the same token, there's only so much that I can do before I accidentally break the game and just shower you with riches to the point where the plot doesn't make any difference.
So how would we do the plot? We make more money doing our own thing.
How much did we get from retirement altogether? Was it 10? Was it 10 with Tarika?
Yes, 10 with Tarika.
And we made 20 on that deal.
And you do manage to find a buyer.
Oh, sweet.
The thing is, you do now kind of realize that selling the entertainment goods here might be a bit of a difficult sell. You're going to have to approach the buyer and really push it hard. But you find Ishtikris Chiyoko, who is, they're one of the few people here who has the funds and resources available to buy cargo. From what you can make out, they're definitely going to be interested in the clothing. That is something that in these conditions wears through relatively quickly. And also, having a little bit of style and pizzazz to them doesn't hurt, because even if you do live in a swamp, you might as well look good trying to live in the swamp. They are going to offer you, or you get the feeling, because you spent, what's it? 3 ship shares for the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You get the feeling that the going rate here is going to be about 6 ship shares for the clothing.
Pretty decent, building our investment.
The entertainment goods, that's a little bit more up in the air. Given the sort of like difference in cultures, you're going to have to talk to them about what they're willing to pay for it.
Righty. So we don't know what kind of, it could be someone's willing to give us what we got for it, someone's desperate for it, and they might give us a fair amount for it.
It depends on how well you sell it.
Right. That makes sense.
At the end of the day, it's not just a like, oh yeah, let's buy these offers for 5. It's like, give me a good reason to pay 5.
Did you say you got a sense that maybe this wasn't the place to sell them? Or that there would be better places to sell them, I guess.
There's easier places to sell them within the Vascarium.
Cool.
We'll find
You're not sure.
Casual Skittermenter club, and they'd be happy to take it off our hands.
It seems more likely these guys. I mean, I feel like they could probably do with entertainment, considering everyone's unpleasantly unwell most of the time. But if they're not in the mood for buy-in, then we're not going to get a good deal.
Right.
The other thing is to consider is the other places to sell these things. It might be an easier sell, but because supplies are bountiful in those other places, they might not be willing to pay as much.
I would imagine Ghostmire doesn't necessarily need the entertainment, but I'm sure somewhere else on this planet.
I noticed on the map there was a place called Command 2, but I couldn't see a Command 1. I'm quite worried about what might have happened to that.
Different planet.
Okay.
Command 1 is on Vesk 1, Command 2 is on Vesk 2.
It's literally
Command
that.
3 is on Vesk 3. Very clear naming structure, not very imaginative.
That's is it possible that we maybe relocated to Command 2 in the meantime? I don't know where Trix and Jahir were looking for work, if it was in Ghostmire or elsewhere on the planet.
Trix was looking for anywhere.
Yeah, you were looking in Ghostmire tricks. You found sort of like a place where they make these kind of deals. It was a vid call to another part of the planet or another part of the system. You're not quite sure. It's a Ministry of Secret Handshakes. But at the same token, you've let them know that you're in the Veskarium. They assume to a certain degree, once you're in the Veskarium, if they ask you to go to Vesk 3, that's not a problem. Vesk 1, not a problem. So if they do contact you back, it'll be sort of like they'll hope you're still in the Veskarium and looking for work in or around the Veskarium. Jahir, you were just thinking about picking up ship parts. So again, you were looking around the local area. There's nothing here, but getting on the local infosphere, it's the place to be for ship parts is Conqueror's Forge, where they literally make them. So yeah, you could relocate to Command 2 if you so desire.
What we know of it, is it more of a like something Jahir's? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit more cosmopolitan. Like I say, it might be an easier sale for some of the things there, but at the same token, they're likely to be getting sellers several times a day over in Command 2, as opposed to, you don't know when the last time these guys got supplied anything.
Eva, how do you feel about giving the entertainment a lot of try? Do some humanitarian work, maybe, see if we can offer these guys, if they've anyone we see who seems to have the means, whether they'd be able to take the entertainment off our hands if we can spin a good deal. Do you fancy a challenge, or should we just maybe move on to a different cargo and see if we can shift it somewhere easier?
I think, well, we found someone already for the clothes, the textiles, right? Mm-hmm. That's easy enough. Let's sell that. We're making profit off of it. For the entertainment, if we had to search hard, I do not think it is necessary that we work terribly hard for it. It's not taking up...
You get a feeling that there's only like 2 or 3 people in this place that has the funds. So if you're selling the clothes to this guy, it's like you could ask him about the entertainment stuff, because he might buy it. Otherwise, you're looking at elsewhere, because there's literally nobody else in this settlement who's likely got the funds for it.
Then easy enough. Let's talk to Chikozi? Chiyoko.
So, you approach this tent. It's a little more than a tent, but you do see like a storage area, and the storage area is pretty much just open to the elements. Everything is sealed away in crates, but there doesn't seem to be much in the way of security. There's not even a fence around this thing. Never mind walls or barbed wire. It's just there's a place that has been leveled off, and crates of goods have been stored here. But it is very clearly, it's not like on the corner of this lot is a tent, a solitary tent, and you see a number of people sort of like coming and going from this tent.
We spot anybody who... Well, we've already made... Can we spot Chiyoko? Or have we already met them? Or is this just a name basis?
It's just a name.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Charming Veneer on Flimsy. Since you speak Vesk.
Maybe some of the singes on his beard from the the flight down here start to disappear and look a bit more presentable.
So as we kind of enter in this area, she'll like touch a soft giant hand on his shoulder and have some of that rainbow iridescent energy go into him.
Maybe just grab someone coming out and like, but we're looking for Chiyoko. Got a deal on hand for them.
Shiroko is in the tent I just came out of. You might want to get in line. He makes a lot of deals around here.
How big is the line?
It's moving fairly quickly. It's about 10, maybe 15 Ikeshti.
Okay, it's not too bad. Is it all
Not
Ikeshti?
It's not Ikeshti, it's
Ishtikri.
yeah, those guys.
Ishtikri. Is it all of
Ikeshti
it?
are on a completely different planet and squirt blood from their eyes.
Not a mistake you want to make. Is it all squid folk?
Yeah. You're pretty much the only foreigners around here apart from the doctor.
Okay, cool. That's not too bad. I don't mind a bit of queuing if you don't mind, Yuma.
All right. I wonder what Jahir and Trix are up to.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
How many hands can I use?
All of them. I'll beat them all.
I'm no mathematician, but I don't think that's statistically possible with 3 options and 4 hands.
You'd think, but to make it even, that hand's on my team.
Jahir's just confused as hell. He doesn't even know what paper is.
So the line moves fairly quickly, and you go into this tent, and it is, just on ish. Itikris sort of like sat behind a table, which is odd, seeing as though it's a table inside of a tent. It's a fairly nice table, and they're just sort of like, I had a feeling that you might be coming this way. It's not often that we get outsiders to this place.
It's a very nice table you've got there, friend. We've come here to...
Honestly thought you were going to threaten him, and it's like, it would be a shame if somebody broke.
Yeva's just like, why isn't he complimenting table of all things?
We are just passing by. We've come here for a humanitarian mission to the hospital. But we have a few items of exquisite rarity from Absalom Station itself that you might find to be somewhat interesting.
We're mainly in the market for food, clothing, and building supplies. What is it that you have for sale?
Food and building supplies, even clothing. We can help you out with clothing, actually. That's all by the by. What you really want to get to is aggressive expansion of new profitable markets. And we've got something exactly for you. Looking around here, things aren't exactly chipper, shall we say. We've got something that could help the good people of Ghostmire here maybe get away from their worries a little bit. And you can even have a go yourself, maybe.
You're talking a lot of words, but you're not exactly showing me or telling me what it is you have for sale.
Glad to see your interest. Well, we've got here for you. Can I present a sample of one of the doodles, or do I have to have we've got an image of it, I guess, at least, but I'd like to give a sample if I'd thought ahead.
I'll allow you to think ahead. So the sample of entertainment gear what sample did you bring? Because it was literally toys and games of the latest generation of Trivid games, holovisors, and virtual paraphernalia, along with a set of disco balls and a heavy-duty sound system.
I forgot about the disco balls. It was the game was the one I was thinking, that he could have a little play in a game and get away from his worries for a little bit.
Make me a diplomacy check. You've still got the charming video.
+1.
+1, thank you. I would like to use a reroll on that, possibly.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, it was a 4 on the dice.
+13 is nothing to sneeze at.
It's true. That is true. It was diplomacy, wasn't it?
And you have about a 75% chance of rolling better than that.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Remember what happened last time? We rolled a 3.
Oh, there we go. It's slightly better for a dirty 20.
I don't really have time for such activities, but I can see the appeal of them. What is it that you were looking to sell at?
We only bought them for 1 ship share.
I know. What do we want for a price? I don't really know what the.
Let's start at 4 and see. If
Okay, yeah. Right. Well,
5, push it.
I thought 4 was pushing it.
Yeah, I think 4 is pushing it as well, to be honest. Well, we've got some clothing that we'd obviously like to trade with you, which is at your standard rate that we've saw on your website. And maybe we could do a bulk deal, say 12 BP for the lot.
Pardon? Sorry, out of character. Pardon?
What was it for the clothes?
6 for the clothes.
Oh,
6
sorry.
for the clothes.
10 BP also. Sorry.
It was just one of them. It's like we started off at 4, then we said 5 that felt a little bit high, and then you jumped up to 6, and it was so like, I need to clarify this. And, the thing is, as much as we would like to make a deal of that magnitude, unfortunately, it's a case of demand that binds me and twists me into being unable to meet that pricing for everything we would be looking at 5 ship shares.
For everything?
For everything, indeed.
We couldn't go lower than 9, I'm afraid, for this particular deal. These are the only copies of these are the latest. They were the latest releases, weren't they?
They were the latest releases a week ago.
Cool.
Right, but the clothes, the textiles themselves should be at least 6 ship shares.
The textiles, if you could provide samples and potentially we test the durability here, we would be willing to pay for up to 6 if it can withstand this environment. The entertainment and paraphernalia is somewhat more limited market.
I don't know, Flimsy. I feel like the products we have to sell require much more of a distinguished environment, a privileged culture.
I think it's not just that. It's a shame that they're not getting ahead in this brand new burgeoning market. These things are going to be all over the best system, and whoever we trade to is going to be right at the head of it.
Yeah, that I want a diplomacy check not to insult this guy.
Can I assist with trying to?
Nope.
15.
Unfortunately, my time here is limited. As you can tell, I am a very busy individual.
By all means, we'll take our business elsewhere. Thank you for the conversation.
Indeed, it has been interesting to view how you outsiders deal with trade.
As they're walking out, she says to Flimsy, let's get off this planet and somewhere a little bit more, I don't know, cleaner.
Before they leave, would losing a unit affect the total BP value of what we got of the entertainment system?
When you say a unit,
like we were gonna give him like one of the games to play. Can I leave it with him, or is that going to be a negative impact? I don't know what kind of quantity we got these things in.
I mean, it's 50 tons.
Oh, okay. So am I okay to leave him a game and not have that be like?
That's not going to affect it whatsoever.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there was a kobold hiding in one of the boxes for the clothing that did not impact the price. You know,
Cool.
Breakages and free samples are like built into these things. I would assume that's what I'm going with, because 50 tons of video games works out at several million, given the weight of a floppy disk. Oh, not a floppy disk, a CD. Wow, I'm old. And this is the future, so God knows what they've managed to compress it into. So
Imagine what value we'd get for 50 tons of games at CEX.
£2.50.
Before we leave, then I would say to my friend Chiyoko, you keep hold of that game, give it a play when you get a chance, and maybe you'll see these things will be the next wave. I'm telling
you. Thank you.
Give it a neat little bow and leave.
Yeah, make me a perception check.
Okay. Don't eat it. Don't eat the game. 15. Such low dice today.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Okay. You're right, Eva. Let's get to a slightly more civilized world. Somewhere I can take this damn environmental suit off for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that it's just about to call time. However, I am curious, where are you now going off to?
Space.
I mean, I did ask Neva where they were headed to if they wanted to meet up. But I think Conqueror's Forge feels like a good destination.
Or even Command 2. We've not even been to the populace on this world, have we? We're still in backwater Ghostmire.
Okay.
Jahir and Trix? You guys anywhere you want to go to?
No, not really. I have no idea what's on this planet, aside from not a lot at the moment.
There's water and there's dirt.
Are there beaches anywhere? Can we go find some beaches?
I'm not entirely. What did that map show? I can't remember.
It's a place called Frozen Watch. That sounds beachy.
Not especially beachy, I don't think. But yes, so Command 2 and maybe Conqueror's Forge. And depending on where, neither may or may not contact you. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Disco Beach Party.
Yes, we've got the means.
I mean, you've got the means, but should you not stop for a moment and ask, should you?
Give us some party food on the beach.
He's running out of supplies, by the way. You ate quite a bit on the way here, and he prefers to work with fresh food. And it's all starting to go a little, well, he fed half of what you had to the goblins because it was not fresh any longer.
Sure, I can fashion him a fishing rod.
And leave him in a town for long enough to catch something?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Anyway, thank you for joining us this evening. I am Karen Russmore and will continue to be so. You can usually find me over on my channel, twitch.tv/Karen Russmore, where I play a variety of games, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Go check out my channel there. I might actually be taking some time off from the streaming. I realized the other day that I've been streaming non-stop for over a year now, and I feel that I might take a break. But I might not, so keep an eye out. Flimsy.
Hello, I'm Daystation64. You can find me on Thursdays in the evening, 9 p.m, playing No Man's Sky. We'll go back to the main story. And on Saturday mornings, playing Red Dead Redemption 2 as a bad man Arthur Morgan, some help, some chat. And potentially, not yet announced, maybe some more Populous 3 because I really, really enjoyed it. I want to play some more.
Hi everyone, I am Krifu Bernal. I am one of the captains and producers here at Manapod Studios. If you enjoyed this Starfinder stream, then I would recommend you check out Manapod's Starfinder podcast, run by GM Mark, Tales from the Packed Worlds. They just released episode 16. And I'm almost fully caught up, and it is a pretty good time. So if you've got some extra listening time on your hands, you should check that out. I will be live on my channel on Wednesday and Friday this week, continuing the grind through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was about to say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So you can find me there doing some Assassin.
And Tricks.
Hi, I'm Crit Commissions. I do artsy things on various social medias with the same tag. I'm currently stuck on Lord and Irony here on Twitch because account got locked out.
And finally, Jahir.
I'm Retro Ted. You can find me on twitch.tv/Retro Ted. I mainly play older games. We are currently playing through Icewind Dale.
All right. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. We will be raiding somebody, so stick around for the raid. If you can't, no worries. We will hopefully see you all next time. And until then, daddy bye.
Bye.